What do you think we're going to get from Erika this season?
I mean, a bunch of bullshit. She's trying to give herself a hero edit, and production is not trying to give her that. So it's like like even she got dropped off at Dorit's house, or Dorit, as Kathy says, and
Dorit.
she was like, "Thank you so much for the ride." You know, like she like says to the Uber, "Thank you so much for the ride." And then production is like putting like overflow closet and like showing gold boots and showing like all of the Erika Jane personal collection jewelry is being brought out. You know, it's like it is insane. And I gotta say, it was like really it was one of those things where you watch and you kind of laugh about and all that stuff, but you realize the severity of that situation. And I'm like, oh man, I would love to know the conversation that went on in her head or with her people about why go on this season, because I feel like this not only could hurt her case, but I think it reminds the viewers of how, I don't know, like it started making me think of the overall, if wealth really exists or if it's just people stealing from each other and stuff, you know, like you start thinking about these bigger questions of these aspirational lives, which was what the housewives originally were. And then you realize, is it aspirational if you potentially have to go to jail?
It's so interesting because we've seen so many of these different cases kind of play out where you see that the money isn't really like the wealth isn't real. It's an illusion. It's an like it's really just smoke and mirrors at this point. And
Yep.
how many
Yep.
times have we seen it with all these different housewives? With Erika, I'm curious to see how it all plays out because everything broke while they were filming. Like these current scenes were pre divorce. They were
But I
pre.
feel like she knew something was coming.
But even
I
if
mean,
she
like,
knew something was coming, it didn't break into the press in the way, like it didn't become the big scandal where all these other lawsuits came out. Like there was one lawsuit in the works, which was Edelson in Chicago. That one was in the works that you could say she probably had a heads up about that. But now we have so many other victims and so many other cases and lawsuits. And now Tom has pretend amnesia. And like, it's really blown up.
well, which by the way, we have the same situation at Real Housewives of Salt Lake City where the
Yeah.
story blew up while they were filming. Like, I mean, we potentially have the first Housewives show where an FBI agent might have a talking head. You know, like
Yeah.
that wouldn't that be amazing if like Agent Smith is one of the characters in next seasons of Salt Lake? Like that'd be amazing. I would love for an FBI agent to be an ongoing, recurring character on a Housewives show.
How are you feeling about Garcelle this season? Because I appreciated her in the premiere.
I really, man, the same thing as the dental line with Kathy is the same thing with the fish line with Garcelle of like, oh, my boring fish is named Kyle, and this other. I just like that's so great. That's to me that kind of level of petty and specificity is so great. Like if I came from an acting background, and if you can be specific like that, that's what I think endears you to an audience, is because it's just like that's so specific. Like people usually can't make up that kind of stuff. That's like real, you know.
Do you think Kathy Hilton will? Well, I guess. Do you feel like she has, and will she continue to rehab her image from the Paris Hilton documentary, where she looked really bad?
1,000%. Also, I don't think I don't know what the awareness. I mean, I watched the Paris Hilton documentary, and I know a lot of people did, but also the awareness of that, it kind of died out, that storyline.
Yeah.
And unless Paris comes on and brings it up in this, I don't think people are extremely aware, except for the hardcore people that have watched that whole situation. And of course, you guys, she's referring to Paris Hilton. I think she put her in like an Outward Bound thing that she got kind of assaulted and some weird shit happened. But I think she can totally come back from that. I mean, also, it wasn't like Kathy was like some folk hero to begin with, and that like really, it was like I didn't. I mean, I obviously expected something weird to happen in that family.
Yeah.
I mean, I was around when Paris Hilton first got successful. Like I mean, I remember when the sex tape came out. Like these were all. I didn't think that they obviously were like perfect parents at all.
Yeah.
So I think she can definitely rehab. In fact, I think this will help Kathy, if it does anything.
I think it's part of the reason she decided to do the show finally. Aside from being bored
Oh
in
yeah, that's
quarantine,
great. Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
think she was like, I got a really bad edit in the documentary. I have an offer that I get every year. Let me be a part time housewife and let's just see how this goes. But I'll only be part time so I can be funny and cheeky and zany on the show. And, I feel like Kathy's the perfect combination of Kyle and Kim. She's kooky, zany, crazy, but she also has the glam.
Yeah, and I love her voice too. Of like, it kind of sounds like Martha Stewart, but then at times she can go high pitch and be a little like Paris Hilton. So it's like a really fascinating voice. Like I can't wait to hear more of it.
Thoughts on Rinna and how many seasons she has left?
Personally, I want this to be her last season. I do
Really?
not like Rinna. I've always disliked Rinna after her third season, and but I think but me being wise about it, she can be on this as long as she wants. Like she's not going anywhere. And also, it's something that I've come to terms with in the last couple months is that hating a housewife is pretty much the same as loving a housewife. Is that's how these shows work. I think they only work if you hate somebody passionately and love somebody passionately.